My name is Damien Humphreys,
I'm Luke Hindmarsh
and we are,
in Deep Crit.
and today we are in Deep Crit with the third part of our look at the Bard class and the subclasses for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And today we're looking at the two classes that are presented in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, which is the College of Creation and the College of Eloquence. So without further ado, we shall get on to the College of Creation. All bards believe that the song of creation is what put the world and the universe and the cosmos in motion, and that this song can still be heard and still be tapped into, and that's where the bardic magic comes from. Bards of the College of Creation tap into this a little more and use that song of creation in their abilities to create certain extra effects and objects, etc. At third level, when you choose this subclass, you are going to get, first of all, Mote of Potential. And whenever a creature has a bardic inspiration die, essentially you utter a note from the Song of Creation and give them this tiny mote of potential, which buzzes around them within 5 feet of the creature. Can't be touched, can't be harmed, and lasts until the bardic inspiration die is lost, so either used or run out. And it can look like any kind of thing you like. You can flavour it like a note, a flower, any kind of symbol that you choose. When the creature then uses that bardic inspiration die, the mote provides an additional effect based on which way they are using the inspiration die that you've given them. So if they use it on an ability check, they can roll the bardic inspiration die again and choose which roll to use as the mote pops and emits colourful, harmless sparks for a moment. So essentially, they can choose the higher of the two rolls to use on that ability check. If they're using it on an attack roll, then immediately after they roll the inspiration die to add it to an attack roll against the target, the mote thunderously shatters. Sorry, the mote rather thunderously shatters. And the target of that attack and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die. So not only does that die add to the attack roll, but it also causes extra damage. And then finally, if they use it on a saving throw, immediately after the creature rolls the bardic inspiration die and adds it to a saving throw, the mote vanishes with a soft sound of music, and that creature gains temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die, plus your charisma modifier, which is a minimum of 1 temporary hit point.
Also, straight out the gate at third level, you get the Performance of Creation, which allows you as an action to create a non-magical item within 10 feet of you that has to be on the ground or supported in some way or be able to float on a liquid. Can't exceed a gold piece value of 20 times your level, and initially needs to be medium or smaller. It's obviously magical in some way because it glimmers and creatures can hear faint music when touching it, but it lasts for a number of hours equal to your proficiency bonus. You get to do this once per long rest, although you can expend a spell slot of second level or higher to use the feature again. You can only have one item in existence created by this feature at a time, so if you use it a second time, the first item disappears. When you reach 6th level, the size of the item goes up a size category to large, potentially goes up a size category to large, and at 14th level would go up to huge.
6th level, you will gain the feature of Animating Performance. So as an action, you can target a large or smaller non-magical item that you can see within 30 feet of you and animate it. This animated item uses the dancing item stat block, which is also provided in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, and that uses your proficiency bonus, so it has hit points a certain amount equal to a certain number of times your proficiency bonus, and so on. The item is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. It lives for 1 hour. Rather disturbingly, it's phrased, it lives for 1 hour until it is reduced to 0 hit points or until you die. It shares your initiative count, but takes its turn immediately after yours and can move and use reactions on its own. but the only action it will take is the dodge action unless you use your bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action. If you're incapacitated, it can take any action of its choice. However, when you use your Bardic Inspiration feature, you can still command the item as part of the same bonus action that you use for Bardic Inspiration. Once you've done this, you can't animate another object until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher to do it again. You can only have one item animated by this feature at a time. If you use it and you already have a dancing item in this feature, the first one immediately becomes inanimate.
14th level, we get the capstone ability of Creative Crescendo, and where you use your Performance of Creation feature, you can create now more than one item at once. You can create a number that's equal to your Charisma modifier, although with a minimum of 2. Only one of those items can be of the maximum size you can create. The rest must be small or tiny, but you're no longer limited by gold piece value when creating items with Performance of Creation. This is one hell of a subclass, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, the problem with the bards, for me, it was a problem. Problem is the wrong word. The thing with bards and their subclasses is that there are so many good subclasses that it's difficult to actually apply a scale. We're using our new scale of critness now. So where would you pitch this and why?
Well, yeah, as you say, all Bard classes are really good. I'm personally a big fan of the Bard class. I may be biased. I think the Bard class as a whole is really, really strong. All of the subclasses, so far we've only marked one that was kind of crit or miss.
Glamour Bards, yeah.
Everything else we've marked in the top 2 tiers of our marking system.
Yeah.
For whatever criteria we have, and this one again, this is good crit. I think verging on being the crit.
Yeah.
I think this is if there were tiers within each of our tiers, this is right at the top of that. Without going into a 20-dimensional system, but
yes.
this is right up there.
Yeah.
This is right up there. Motive potential just adds to a key feature of the Bard anyway, right? And this is what I look for when I'm kind of marking these subclasses. Are you adding to what the class already does? And are you adding to it in a meaningful way, or are you taking away from what that base class already does? This is just adding to your key feature, which is your Bardic Inspiration. Again, Performance of Creation. How many times has a party gone, I wish we had a crowbar, or
or a statue that we can create and then animate using motive potential. Sorry, not motive potential. Animating performance.
Yeah. Theoretically, you could do that exactly. Then animating performance. All of these abilities are on top of what the Bard already does.
Yeah.
None of them take away from what the Bard does at all, and they all have some amazing uses.
Yeah, well, I think what I really like about it, so the problem for me is if it weren't for the College of Eloquence, this would be the crit for me, and I think it's only because I don't feel we should have 3 subclasses that are the crit. That then is that top level standard kind of has to be held for something that's really an amazing subclass. Otherwise, I would say this is the crit. It is good crit, but I almost feel like I might want to argue with myself and with you about that. Say no, it's the crit. It's good. I just think this has got so many possible uses. So you could be using these abilities in sort of to give tactical benefits in combat. You can be using them to come up with creative solutions to problems in a dungeon or in a social setting. I really, really like this subclass, and I think it would be amazingly fun to play. But the funny thing is, when I first looked at it, I just sort of glanced past it, and I was like, oh well, College of Eloquence caught my attention. So there's something about it that didn't quite electrify me when I first read it, and I'm not quite sure why, because it's amazing. I think it might be one of those cases where your mileage may vary depending on how So you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have a DM who's going to let you be creative with these abilities. And if you're not allowed to be too creative because of the type of campaign it is, or the impact that might have on other players' fun, and there's the balancing act that has to always be done. That's the downside of this class, and that's what keeps it out of being the crit for me. It's in the right setting, it's absolutely the crit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I like the fact that the animating performance is restricted to large or smaller items.
Yeah.
Because I read that and in my head I have the Statue of Liberty at Ghostbusters 2 marching through the streets. I go to let's do that.
Yeah.
Can't quite do that. So there are limits to this, as there should be. But I just really like it, and I think a creative player with a DM with a yes and DM, it's going to have enormous fun in this class.
This could be if you're a DM and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, this great, I've got a player who's going to play a College of Creation Bard. You need to watch them. you need to have an idea, a very clear idea of the abilities and what limits you want to put in place beforehand. I think. My general...
Yeah, although it says examples of the items you can create with performance of creation, see the equipment chapter in the player's handbook. So essentially anything in there that is under the gold value limit of 20 times your bard level. So at third level,
you're always
60 gold pieces worth to play with.
You're always going to have players who want to stretch that. And my personal approach as a DM would be to say, okay, as you say, yes, and I don't want to say, okay, sometimes you have to say no, but I think it's better to look at ways in which there are either consequences or restrictions that would make sense. So I think this is just one to watch, just to make sure. Sometimes you can't always have your head on top of every single ability that every subclass of every player at the table has, and sometimes you forget ones. But you really have to, I think, remind yourself on a regular basis, if you've got a College of Creation Bard in your party.
Have a read of the ability.
Yeah, it's...
every time they try to use it, have a quick read over it again, just to make sure. So again, performance of creation, there's something built in there which says the item glimmers softly and the creature can faintly hear music when touching it.
Yeah.
So were you to try and create something, because immediately I go to, I can create a gem, and try and sell that. Try and pass that off to buy something with. But the person who receives it is going to know there's
something magical about it.
Yeah,
which might up its value.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is my ringing and singing in gem.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of thing. I mean, the way I deal with that example, say you were doing that in a campaign I was running, you'd get away with it, but then word would spread very rapidly of this person who goes around creating magical gems that make a sound, and it would become a significant thing that you'd come to regret, because that's the way I roll. I'm obviously an evil DM when it comes to things like that. But yeah, and it's got consequences, I think, and it's a good subclass.
It's a
very good subclass.
Very good subclass. Yeah. And that is the College of Creation.
When you think of the bard, it's easy to think of the charmer, the person who's not only the face of the party, but the one who is literally going to be singing birds down from the trees and charming everyone around them. Yeah, that can often be the case, but with the College of Eloquence, it's almost going to be guaranteed. These are the orators, the masters of words, but also, of course, you can make it the ultimate songsters, the hit that just keeps on creating an earworm and won't go away. And that's reflected by their third level ability, Silver Tongue. They are the master of saying the right thing at the right time. When you make a charisma, persuasion, or deception check, you treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
And also at third level, when you take this Bard College, you get the Unsettling Words feature. You spin words laced with magic that unsettle a creature and cause it to doubt itself. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration and choose a creature that you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die, and that creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn.
When you reach 6th level in the College of Eloquence, you gain unfailing inspiration. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and they fail, they still keep the Bardic Inspiration die.
And also, at 6th level, you get the Universal Speech feature. And as an action, you can make your speech understood by 1 or more creatures within 60 feet of you. That number is equal to your Charisma modifier, so a minimum of 1 creature. Those creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language that you speak for 1 hour. And once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot of any level to use it again.
And finally, the capstone ability at 14th level, your inspiration goes viral. It's infectious inspiration. When you inspire someone, if you're within 60 feet of them and they succeed on their roll where they've used your inspiration on an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature, can't be yourself, that can hear you within 60 feet. And they also get a Bardic Inspiration die without expending any of your Bardic Inspiration uses. So this is using your reaction. You can do it a number of times per day, equal to your Charisma modifier with a minimum of once. As I say, you get it back on a long rest. And my goodness, what an ability! What a set of abilities!
What a subclass!
Yeah.
What's a college to choose? Like I said, I like bards. I am just starting a new campaign with a DM where I'm starting a new bard, and she will be taking the College of Eloquence at 3rd level. This is the crit of the crit, in my opinion. Everything adds to those abilities.
It almost makes me think we should downgrade Law Bards, actually. I have a real problem with this subclass because I don't think I could roleplay it. I'm just not charming enough or persuasive enough. It's amazing, isn't it?
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
I'm much more like a stormy day, thank you very much. Stormy Monday.
Just get some Shakespeare in your back pocket for role-playing, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. It's just starting with the silver time. So you even at 3rd level, what's your mechanically, let's look at this. Your proficiency bonus is going to be what? 2?
Still plus 2. Yeah.
Still plus 2. You probably got a 3 or 4 from charisma, probably.
You've got your expertise.
And your expertise.
At that point as well. So you've probably taken expertise.
So you're looking at rolling what?
Yeah.
I mean,
So, if you've got expertise, say you've got expertise in persuasion, so you've got 4, and you've got a charisma of 18 at that point. Maybe 16. Let's say 16. So you've got a plus 3. So you've got a plus 7. So your minimum
is a 17.
For a persuasion check is a 17 at 3rd level, and that's only going to get better and better.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Unsettling words. I mean, this is interesting because it's like the Law Bard's cutting words, but it's different, isn't it? This one.
It is different. So cutting words can only be used on an attack or damage roll on a creature. This is against their next saving throw. And like we were talking about just before, that will synergize really nicely with your own spell casting.
Yeah.
So hit them with a bonus action with this, then follow up with a spell that requires a save, and they've automatically got a number subtracted from that saving throw. Yeah.
Which is pretty. Can be potentially really making a huge difference. Unfailing inspiration is just nice to there's a problem with that, is because it's still relying on your party to remember that they have inspiration.
Yes. Yes.
Why is rage not a bard ability? Sorry.
If you have a party that remember they have inspiration, or some way of marking it on their miniature or their token, depending on how you're playing, or a nice big dice that you can give them, like buy yourself a massive dice,
Yes.
put it in front of them. So they've got
The inspiration stick every time they forget, hit them with it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I wanted to wear a t-shirt with inspiration written across it and like a flap that you lift up and close down depending with. Universal speech, so you no longer have to take comprehend languages. You no longer have to waste spell slot but you know what I mean. Use spell slots to have this great, fantastic.
Absolutely.
And the ability
plays into that being the face of the character and being the eloquent, the speaker, the orator.
Face of the character, mate. I love it. Yes, being the face character. Yes. No, I got what you meant. I mean, it's just awesome, isn't it?
Be the face of your own character.
Yeah, I mean, you are indeed, and what a face! You like face from the A-Team with this subclass, and you know the infectious inspiration. I'm joking about it being viral, but I mean, it doesn't use your. It's not using your bardic inspiration die. You could use your bardic inspiration die as a bonus action, right? Yeah. So bonus action gives someone inspiration, and you've already given someone else. So the first turn of combat, they use it. Great, they're successful. You use your reaction to give it to someone else. Next round, you inspire someone with your bonus action, and it's just you could. It's just like a dominoes.
And them in the initiative, they then use that. Use your reaction. This is a case of you get inspiration. Everybody gets inspiration.
Yeah.
And if that inspiration doesn't work, they keep it because of the 6th level ability of unfailing inspiration.
So this is maximizing your inspiration, and it is again just about your party members remembering they've got inspiration. But frankly, with this, it's almost like they'd have to remember that when they don't have inspiration.
Pretty much, I think. Yeah. Just assume you've got inspiration, unless you're told otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great capstone ability. You don't get it till 14th level, but again, this doubles down on everything the bard does.
There's one way in which this subclass is bad, and it's bad if you're in a simple dungeon crawl with a dungeon master who doesn't do any social element whatsoever. And it's not bad even then. It's not.
It's not bad even then because you've
still got all the inspiration. But
it's unsettling words.
If there's any kind of social interaction in a campaign, and there should be, because it's one of the pillars of role playing. But maybe it's not the biggest importance in the campaign you're playing. But this is just. It's still. I'm just trying to find something negative to say about it for some reason. Critical. trying to be critical. I can't be. It's difficult.
No, I can't be critical of this. And I'm going to play one, so I may discover. It's unlikely, but I may discover some weakness in the class. I may discover something.
Yes. Then again, if you want to be the combat character, you're not playing this character anyway. Yeah. If you want to be, the barbarian, you're playing a barbarian. So if you want to play a bard, this is the This is super bard.
Is it cause to downgrade the College of Law? I don't think so, because the College of Law doubles down on another side of the Bard's ability, the spellcasting side of things.
Fair play.
This is I think both of those, for me, College of Law, College of Eloquence are the crit. For me, actually, all Bards are really good. You are never not going to have fun playing a Bard, trust me.
Yes. So long as you like role-playing.
So long as you like role-playing, and so long as you like being there in the middle of the role-playing and the social interaction and all that kind of stuff. If you're a little bit sit back and not get involved in that stuff, then you probably won't get the value out of the Bard, to be honest.
No.
But if you're in this for the role-playing, this is just a stunning class. I cannot wait until Friday night I get to. Well, it's going to be not until 3rd level that I get the College of Eloquence, admittedly, but I can't wait till I get to 3rd level and start chucking about some of these abilities.
So you know the drill by now, what we always ask, because this is a YouTube channel. Maybe we've got it wrong, however, so whether you like or otherwise, please comment. Let us know whether, first of all, have you had some experiences with Bards where, you can cast some insight onto these abilities, or what are we getting wrong? What are we getting right? Tell us about it. We want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, indeed. and we will actually have a fourth bonus part to our
Oh, yes.
series on bards, where we're going to look at some of the spells available to bards, and we're essentially just going to pick out some must-haves and some probably not worth it, and give you a rundown of some of the spells that the bards get in our next video.
Until then.
Until then, cheerio.